Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Krishna. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So this time around, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. This is a piece of art that one of my students, Logan Capelli, has created. And Logan wanted some feedback on his work. So what I'd like to introduce to the channel is an opportunity for subscribers to send their work in just to get some pointers or some feedback. I think it could be something that could be potentially interesting and maybe useful. You let me know and you tell me in the comments below if you think it's a good idea or not. Give me some reasons why. Just kind of curious because I know that there's some other channels that do this type of stuff, but it's a grand experiment, right? So anyway, getting back to Logan's illustration here. So his main concern was that he felt that some of the elements were looking a little bit flat, and he wanted some suggestions on how he could potentially improve this composition. So the first thing I think that's working pretty well with this composition is we've got these nice black fills. And these black fills do a good job of creating some separation between what we call the foreground, which are these elements that are the closest to the viewer, from the midground, which is somewhere in this space here. And then we also have a background, and right now it's just kind of empty. So when I first looked at this particular piece, one thing that I noted immediately is that some of these rocks were looking a little bit flat. And so something that I suggested to Logan is the idea of thinking about the contour. So if we have this rock, and let me just bump up the brush size, something like that. There's a couple of things that we can do to improve this rock and make it look more dimensional. The first is we could go ahead and think about the contours as latitudinal lines, much like the way we have a sphere that has both longitudinal and latitudinal lines with dotted lines to signify that there's actually contours that are wrapping around the oval. In the same case, we have contours that basically wrap around. So this is an irregular shape, but it still has some form. It still has some mass. It has volume, right? So that's the first thing I would do is first draw those contours, and then you can maybe add some ridges. Rocks usually have a lot of these, what we call striations within them. And I think that can do a good job of giving that rock a little bit more form. Second thing for this area here is we have, obviously this rock is kind of like, embedded in some type of dirt. So what we can do is we can consider the dirt as a, almost like a ring that is wrapping around the structure. And I think using some irregular shapes, varying large, medium, and small shapes can really make those rocks look a little bit more organic. So I've got something like that. I think that could improve that part of the composition. For some of these rocks that are arranged almost vertically, it would be good to see a little bit more overlap. Like we have a hint of overlap here, but the issue that I'm seeing is that all of these rocks are roughly the same size and they're not overlapping too much. Like we have a tangent between these broken stones. So what we can do over here is if we have something that's kind of sharp and jagged, maybe we have another stone, and I'm drawing this one over here, and we have a, maybe we have a stone that appears to be more in front, so I would exaggerate that overlap a little bit more, and maybe have some other shapes that might be smaller or more oblong in size. And then again, thinking about the contours, if these in fact are stones, some stones have striations. And again, I'll draw my vertical and horizontal lines, giving these things some form. And some thickness would be good here. Thickness also adds a sense of depth. So by drawing these contours, I can choose which contours I want to emphasize. Maybe I want to emphasize the horizontal contours for this rock that is more wide. Maybe for this stone, I want to emphasize the more vertical contours, right? And these lines don't have to be perfect, but I'm just kind of creating them in a very organic way. They're irregularly formed, right? And then for the stone here, this stone is going to overlap. There may be an opportunity to create a little bit of a sense of shadow, right? And then again, we have these contour lines. And maybe these contour lines might be a little bit more like cracks. And so you can always get rid of the excess that you don't want. And then something else that I think can also help convey the idea of stone is we have some texture applied on top of it. And the grass here is a good idea. I think we can use that to some pretty good effect here by, again, varying the size of the grass blades and then creating a sense of overlap. And then one thing I would suggest is just adding a few more grass elements or vegetation, lump them closer together to give a sense of value, where we have some areas that appear to be a little bit darker and some areas that appear to be a little bit more light. You might even have a hint of some vegetation behind the structure as well. So varying the size of those individual blades of grass, I think, can be very, very useful. I think the work is still being, crafted. So one thing I would mention to Logan is, think about where you want the viewer to look within this composition. If it's an environment, you still want to think about a focal point, right? So we have these stalactites and stalagmites, and we have some structures here that could use a little bit more overlap. Like, I'm not sure if this area here represents an opening in this rocky terrain, or if it's actually another rock that is in front of this organic structure. So you want to make that much more obvious. Something that I think I would recommend doing is, if you're going to have this as rocks, have a little bit of overlap, like so. And then you can also use some of those same techniques, including some vegetation. And again, thinking about contours. And then coming back in and drawing, more concrete lines to convey those contours. I think that would help provide a little bit more depth. And with the focal point, it could be a creature, could be treasure, could be something that's within this composition. I think something else that can also improve this is to consider adding a background. So we have these awesome rocks and, very, very ornate structures here. You can contrast that and still create a background by just maybe having some softer areas, right? So maybe there's some dunes or something else, and there's an opportunity to maybe have some of those other elements in the distance, right? This could be some kind of a subterranean area. There's a lot of interesting things that you can put in there. There could be a man-made lake. There could be, I don't know, remnants of an old piece of equipment, mining equipment maybe, some train tracks. So many ways that you can kind of really push this. In fact, just looking at this, taking advantage of the fact that we have these little hills, you can create a little bit more depth by adding some type of a repeating element. So we have these train tracks. And that man-made element kind of serves as a way of creating some additional leading lines, but we're also adding some type of a storytelling element to this particular composition. Maybe there's even a focal point. Maybe there's, I don't know, some kind of a mine car or mine cart, right? Where you have something that's just kind of been abandoned for a number of years. You could possibly use even black fills within that space, right? So that gives you, through the use of color and through the use of your leading lines and other compositional elements, you can create a really strong focal point. So that's just an idea. Now for these columns here in the center, giving them just a little bit of a hint of form, they're a little bit further away. So you can add a few extra striations or lines. You may also want to think about incorporating some, hatching. And I'm coloring this in red just so you can see the changes that I'm making here. But hatching can also break this up. So you have these black fills, you have these really light areas. Bringing in some medium values, I think, can help. And you'll see this when I convert it to black and white. There you go. You can start to see that gives it a little bit more structure. Let me pick a black color here. And even some of these structures up here, there could be a few that might be overlapping. And again, you can come back in with some darker hatching. Remember, the name of the game is to create a contrast sandwich. Dark, dark, or light, dark, light. And then this can also help give us a little bit of separation between this column here and the ceiling that's behind it. So these are some things that you can do. Just think about adding form. There might be some additional lighting information that we may want to consider as well. So those are just a few elements that I think can improve this composition. These, one thing to keep in mind is you want to alternate between large, medium, and small shapes as many times as you can. That just makes it look more interesting and more organic as opposed to just having everything roughly the same size. And then second of all, think about how you can utilize overlap, something in front of something else. That does a good job of conveying depth. And then when you're drawing, think about contours. What is the form of those objects? And we've got spheres, we've got cylinders, we've got cones, and we've also got cubes. And these all have contours, and I've got videos that talk about this if you're interested. And then we also have the grid. The grid is something that we can use for walls and ground planes, that type of thing. So these are the 5 key shapes that you definitely want to practice. And everything that we see here can be, evolved from that. For example, these columns are essentially cylindrical structures. Now, are they perfectly parallel? No, there's some variation. That's what makes it look more organic. So things to keep in mind as you continue to work. So this is an experiment. Let me know what you think of this first inaugural office hour segment. And if you'd like for me to take a look at your work and to provide you with some feedback, just reach out through the connections that I have on my YouTube channel. You can find my email address and drop me a line. And I will definitely take a look and see what I'm receiving. And hopefully I can help you out. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.